Welcome back to day 23 of Advent of Cyber 2021. Before doing anything, let's start the machine because it takes a bit of time. So, story for today's task is that one of the administrator realized that a password file was missing from his desktop, which was important to log into some mission control panel. Now, Muxkidi suspect that previous phishing attempts were successful, so we need to inspect the event logs to determine what happened and see if we can retrieve the password from deleted text file. So basically today we will learn about PowerShell logging, also called transcription logging, which is basically reading the log files of input and output in PowerShell. Now the setting of recording these logs is disabled by default, but in our case TryHackMe has made it enabled and the logs be recorded where the attacker had deleted the password file. If you want to enable it on your computer, you can just go to registry editor to this directory and you can add a file called enable transcripting with this data. Also, we can set the output directory for these log files. If you don't do that, it will by default go to my documents on a users folder. In this screenshot I have taken, the output directory is set to the C local drive. Anyways, let's not get carried away. Typically, you will use Event Viewer, inbuilt application of Windows to view logs locally, which looks like this. But TryHackMe has installed a nifty tool called Full Event Log View, which makes it much easier to view logs in an ordered fashion. Now I have used RDP to connect to our target machine using these credentials and this IP. I've already done that. To open full event log view tool, you can just go to this folder and click here to open this. I have already opened it. Now in your case you will see thousands of entries here, which makes it difficult for you to analyze each one of them. So for that, what we will do is go to the advanced option and set these following values. They have already mentioned putting these values in the description. We will set it to 11 October 2021 from this time to the current timing, so that we only view log files from the day password.txt file was missing. They have also told us the specific event IDs, and we can use wildcard so that we view logs that are related to PowerShell. Also, to make it even more thinner to look, we can add another options to show only events with the description strings added as star http star. You can see that I have already done this. Let's press OK and you will see the log file reducing to a list of 7 items. Now when you click here, you can see the content of this log file here in the description box. In the first log file, we see that they have downloaded a file called CVE 2021-160-1675 PS1. Now you can just copy this in Google. You will find that this vulnerability is called print nightmare, and if you are familiar with Active Directory, this is actually a very popular exploit that was found in Active Directory environment. Now let's go to the next log file and you see the output or the background procedure, what happens when you input wget and try to download this file using PowerShell. This is the description. Let's go to the next log file and you see this messy description. Now what you can do is just Control A and copy all of this to open it in a beautiful environment to make it easy to read. What I did is went to this decryptor because we have to use it later on and click on this edit option. Now when you do that, this window opens up. After that, I pressed on here to create a new script and press Ctrl+V to paste it. You get this right here. Now if I actually Google this CVE and try to find the exploit for print nightmare exploit, you will find a GitHub page of Caleb Stewart which has given this exact file on his repository. And if you read through the description, you will see that in this example they try to create user called admin with a 1. Now let's get back to our questions as we have already found answers to some of the questions. So the first question is, what command was executed by Elf McNeely to add a new user to machine? Now some of the questions are very easily to answer if you already know about print nightmare, but if you don't, we can just read through this script to find the answers. When you scroll up to the top, you will see they have used a function called invoke nightmare. Just copy that because that is the answer to our first question. The next question is what user executed the PowerShell file to send the password.txt file from administrator desktop to a remote server, and that is admin with a 1. Submit. Now if I forgot to mention, what print nightmare exploit does is basically exploit an existing vulnerability and then create a new account, which is here admin with a 1, and then give it the highest privileges you can according to the vulnerability, and then later on log in as that user to give you higher privilege on the target's network. Now the next question is what was the IP address of remote server? What port was used for the remote connection? When you go back to the full event log view application, you can click on the third log, which we already did. In fourth log, you will see they have used encrypt key because that is the key they have asked, and in the next question, which is here, let's submit that. And let's read what this script actually does. So they create some variables called file. This is the file that has been deleted. We are trying to recover it. The key which we just entered in the answer. Now this is secure string, some another variable to creating a new object, then some other things, and here we see wget command being used to download an sdelete.zip file. This is actually an application to delete any file permanently, because sometimes even after deleting a file from recycle bin you can actually recover it. So they have used sdelete to delete the password.txt file. Here you can see the URL which contain the IP address and the port. Let's copy that because that is the answer to last question. They have also said that the format to enter is IP comma port. So we have to remove this colon and press comma, enter. Next question is what application was used to delete the password.txt file? We just read that it is sdelete, but just in case, let's get back to our log file and we see that they have use this command to delete the password.txt file permanently. So our answer to this question is sdelete.ext. Let's copy that. Next question is what is the date and time step on the log that show password.txt was deleted? And the last question is what were the contents of deleted password.txt file? Now if you go to the hint of last question, you will see they ask us to use decryptor.ps1. Before answering the second question, let's answer the last question. What we have to do is go back to our PowerShell script editor and go to our decryptor shell. You can see they have asked us to enter key here and enter encrypted text here. So when we go through our log file, we see the key is in fourth log file. Let's copy that here, and the encrypted text is actually in the next log file. This right here, the value of password.txt file is here. Let's copy that. How did I know this was the value? Because it says then that this is the body of the file we are trying to transfer. Let's copy that here. Now we can run this command using dot space dot forward slash and then decryptor.ps1, and we will get and we will get the answer. Or you can just press this green run script button or press F5 on your keyboard. This is just something. Press OK and you will see. So I made an error while copying the key. This last E is not part of the key. Let's delete that and press run script again. Okay, and we get this output here. Now this is actually the answer to our last question. Let's copy that. Now for the last question remaining, we have to look for password.txt file in all the logs file. If you read through the logs that are already here, you will see that password.txt file is not mentioned after this log, because some of the logs are actually missing from here. So what we do is go to our advanced or search option, and instead of http we enter password.txt star. Okay, and we see 3 log file. Whatever the last log file that has something to do with password.txt file is the last one before the file being deleted. Now right click here and click on copy clicked shell. If you clicked here and clicked on copy click shell, it would have copied Microsoft Windows PowerShell, the value of provider. In this case, it will copy the event time, which is our answer. Let's paste that, and it doesn't ask for this last 4 digit. As you can see here, the format, this is our answer. So now we have completed our day 23. We are only remaining with 1 or 2 days of challenges. I'm not sure if there is going to be a challenge on day 25. A good habit is to terminate the machine, and let's end this video.